Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel, and today's video is when they get sick and you're forced to feed them. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and let's get going. The insistent beeping of your alarm clock tore you from the depths of a much-needed sleep. You groaned, swatting blindly at the offending device, only for your hand to contact with something that was soft and warm. A low groan rumbled beside you, and you cracked an eye open to see a shock of spiky blonde hair. Katsky. You remembered then, the previous night, after a grueling hero patrol, both Katsky and Ajiro had come home looking a little worse for wear. You chalked it up to exhaustion, but now, a glance at the flushed skin and slightly glazed eyes of your two boyfriends confirmed your worst fears. They were sick, really sick. Katsky burst further into his pillow, and on your other side, a soft sniffle echoed. Ajiro, ever the light sleeper, was already stirring. "Morning, Wyan." His voice was raspy, and a cough punctuated his sentence. You sighed, running a hand through your own disheveled hair. "Morning, sleepyheads. Or should I say, sickheads?" Katsky grumbled, something that was unintelligible, into the pillow. Ajiro, however, managed a weak smile. "I'm just feeling a bit rough." He reached out, pressing the back of your hand against his forehead. He was radiating heat. "You're burning up, Red. Both of you probably are." You then moved your hand to Katsky's forehead, confirming your suspicion. He felt like a furnace. "Don't want to get up." Katsky whined, a rare display of vulnerability that only ever emerged when he was truly unwell. "I know." You gently stroked his hair. "But you two need fluids and something in your stomachs. I'll make some soup." Getting out of bed was an ordeal in itself. Katsky clung to your arm for a moment, his usually fiery glare replaced with a dazed, fleeting look. Ajiro simply curled into a tighter ball, shivering despite the fever. You managed to disentangle yourself and head to the kitchen, a plan already forming into your mind. Broth, something that was easy to digest. You started chopping vegetables, the rhythmic thud of the knife, a stark contrast to the quiet, sickly sounds emanating from the bedroom. After a while, the comforting aroma of chicken noodle soup began to waft through the apartment. You ladled generous portions into two bowls, adding some crackers on the side, and then, armed with a thermometer and a glass of water, you ventured back into the bedroom. Ajiro was propped up slightly against the headboard, looking pale but more alert. Katsky, however, was still buried under the covers, a muffled groan escaping him every now and then. "All right, boys," you announced, placing a bowl on the bedside table next to Ajiro. "Time to eat." Ajiro reached for the spoon, his hand trembling slightly. He managed a few spoonfuls before letting out a frustrated sigh. Can't really taste anything." You frowned. This was going to be harder than he expected. He picked up the spoon. "Open up, Red." He looked surprised for a moment, and then a soft blush dusted his cheeks. "You don't have to, Ian." "Don't be silly," you replied, gently scooping some soup. "You need to eat, and if I have to feed you, so be it." You brought the spoon to his lips, and he obediently opened his mouth. He managed to finish out the bowl this way, even though he still couldn't taste much. Next, it was Katsky's turn. This was where the real challenge lay. He gently pulled back the covers, revealing a disheveled Katsky, his eyes still closed. "Katsky," you said softly, nudging his shoulder. "Wake up. You need to eat." He stirred. blinking slowly. When his eyes finally focused on you and the bowl of soup, a flicker of his usual stubbornness appeared. Don't want it. Too bad, I made it and you're going to eat it. Even if I have to strap you down and funnel it in. He knew he wouldn't actually resist that much when he was this thick. He scooped up a spoonful, holding it out to him. He turned his head away. Katsky Bakugo, you warned. If you don't open your mouth, I'm going to tell the whole agency that you cried when you stubbed your toe last week. And that got his attention. His eyes snapped open, a furious, although weakened, glare directed at you. You wouldn't dare. Try me, you challenged, a small smile playing on your lips. With a huff, he opened his mouth. You carefully fed him, spoonful by spoonful. He winced occasionally, the hot soup likely irritating his sore throat. But he swallowed each mouthful. He still grumbled, of course. This tastes like ass. It's good for you, he countered, wiping a stray drop from his chin. And you'll thank me later, when you're not feeling like a dying badger. Ajiro, who had been watching the exchange with a weak grin, chuckled, which quickly devolved into another cough. He immediately went to his side, offering him a sip of water. The rest of the day was a cycle of checking temperatures, doling out medicine, and trying to make them eat more, and forcing more fluids into your two grumpy boyfriends. Katsky alterned between complaining about the bland food and clinging to your hand like a lifeline. Ajiro, ever the sweet one, offered mumbled apologies for being a burden, and thanked you previously for every little thing that you did. As evening drew in, you found yourself sandwiched between them on the bed, a cool compress on Katsky's forehead, and your hand gently stroking Ijiro's hair. You're the best one, Ajiro whispered, snuggling closer. Seriously, don't know what I'd do without you. Katsky surprisingly didn't argue. He just shifted slightly, pressing his head into your shoulder. Yeah, I guess. Thanks, Thomas. You chuckled. Even this way, he still is the same. You two are worth it. Now get some rest. You'll be back to your usual selves in no time. A comfortable silence settled over the room, broken only by the soft sounds of their breathing. He knew the next few days would still be a challenge to you, but seeing them finally resting, knowing they were on the mend, filled you with a quiet sense of satisfaction. Taking care of the people you loved, even when they were stubborn and sniffling, was a task that you wouldn't trade for anything. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and goodbye!